Now, ladies and gentlemen, a Counter-Strike Global Offensive roadmap for 2023, the current and present time. What's to be expected, but also what is going to change to make this year the best, at least compared to last year, and differ itself from the years prior. This past year in 2022, it was CSGO's and, well, Valve's most successful of all time, especially for Counter-Strike. The player numbers were at an all-time high, but to top things off with that, they stayed like that through the entire year, and while they're currently like that going into 2023. And the scary part about that is there was no content whatsoever. It was the smallest amount of monetary content we ever received, but also on top of that, it was the smallest amount of gameplay updates we ever received, which has led people to believe we have to get something very big soon, which I don't think that's really the case. With today's video, we're going to be talking about a realistic approach to CSGO 2023. What are we going to get and what should you expect as a CSGO player?
Today's video sponsor is, of course, SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a place where you can buy or instantly trade your CSGO skins for some new flashy ones. It has a modern and easy to use layout with multiple different filters, and if needed, it has a 24/7 live chat support team. All you have to do is make sure you have your trade link, and on your first trade, if you have a leftover balance, it goes towards your current balance, which can be used when you end up trading skins. If there's a skin you really want and don't have enough for it, there's an option where you can top up your balance, and if you deposit with cash, you get a 35% deposit bonus, which is very nice. This holiday season, SkinsMonkey is offering one of the best deals I've ever seen across any single trading website. They've prepared free gifts for everyone. Christmas has come early. Now, as soon as you go on, you can get one of three things. You can get a completely free CSGO skin of really any single value, a 45% deposit bonus, which is 10% more than normal, being a 35 usually, or of course a free balance on the site, which can be used to any item you want to trade for. The first gift is free, and others are unlocked through the trading website.
With as successful as 2022 was, and some other years as well, there's a lot of things to take away from that situation in those years. Like oversupply, oversaturation was definitely a thing we saw in 2021 and 2022, with over 500 stickers getting added in 2021, and while 2022 kind of decreased that, it was still pretty high. Also on top of that, what we've learned is players, well, want some sort of gameplay update. Is that going to come? Most likely not. The reason behind that is player numbers were, well, the highest they've ever been. If it ain't broke, don't fix. But what's more real of that entire situation is Valve doesn't really care. They are now a software company more than a game developer, which is sad and scary to think about, but it's the truth. The reason why they didn't continue Half-Life, Left 4 Dead, TF2, and now CSGO is somehow, in some ways, getting the TF2 treatment, which is very scary for a lot of people like me, but also players who play the game on maybe a daily or weekly basis. This year in 2023, I think a lot of people are expecting and having high hopes for an operation, maybe even Source 2, especially Source 2 with as many rumors and leaks we've gotten this past year, which does make a lot of sense. But now let's hop into the roadmap, which I actually think is going to happen. So firstly, I want to start off with cases. We only got 2 cases last year, that being the Recoil and Dreams and Nightmares. Dreams and Nightmares was actually announced in 2021, and while the reason we only got 2, I don't really know. It could have been a lot to do with oversupply, the same reason why we didn't get an operation. You got to think of it this way as well. Not the most happy answer for us players, but if we did get an operation, we were hitting 1.3 million players concurrently on a daily basis, even weekly. The amount of skins we would get from an operation like that would pretty much make all those, well, absolutely worthless. And that's what we've seen this past couple of years, especially with major stickers, besides obviously the one-off here and there like Stockholm. I think in 2023, we're probably going to see 2 to 3 cases, one more added to the pool. And I think this might be the very first year where actually, because there are so many newer cases, let's just say, we may see one of these cases that come out, one of these don't get pushed out into the non-active duty drop pool, which would be a first, especially for a lot of people, which would make things very interesting as it goes for investments and supply on the market, because that's also been a very big problem as well. The reason why these cases, especially the active duty ones, are 60 and 70 cents is because they're getting unboxed and invested in more than they're dropping in game, which would therefore help if we had 2 or 3 more in the market, and well, there was a lot more in the active pool for how many people are playing the game, if that makes any sense. I also think one of those would most likely be part of an operation of some sorts, but I wouldn't necessarily count any big gameplay updates this year. Would like to quickly add, Source 2 is not going to change much if that does come as well. It's going to be extremely buggy, and just like the rumors and leaks suggested, this would make the most sense, where if Source 2, and when it does come out, it's going to be launched and you're going to have the option to launch it with a different engine, or let's just say a different launch option for CSGO on Steam. Reasons behind that? Well, people are going to freak out if you can only play Source 2, especially if it's extremely buggy. Imagine Valve dropped an update where they updated all the graphics and everything to 2012 CSGO. That would be pretty bad. Everyone would probably sell their skins and want to just leave and never come back. That's probably one of the main reasons why. Next up, on top of cases, I think we've received 2 majors. I believe it's already been 1 confirmed, not 100% about the second. We know we're getting Blast in February of 2022, and I don't think we're going to get new stickers with that that either, which is sad and depressing, but I just don't think it's going to be the case. I think we'll get random one-off capsules here and there with maybe more lenticular effects, but because we just got glitter, I believe in Antwerp 2022, that's pretty new. Valve does not want to push out so much new content, especially because they don't push anything out really new all the time. They want to save that for when people are desperate and when people leave the game, and that would be the most likely thing to happen in my personal opinion. Very similar to stickers for majors, I think we're going to get 2 to 3 capsules throughout the year that are random, like community capsules, and then I think 1 out of those 3, very similar to cases, is going to be partnered with something or linked to something. Not an operation, but more so of a partnered thing, like Battlefield 2042, how CSGO released this last year. People didn't really like it. I didn't like it. The holo effects were extremely lazy, and that, well, was just that. Now, this is going to surprise people probably the most. I'm not sure if this capsule may release next year, the year after, maybe even in 5 years. I could be completely wrong, but I see this as an opportunity for Valve, but also us, the community. It's something we've been asking for a little while, and I've also been someone to say that it's probably going to happen because it makes the most sense. This would absolutely kill souvenirs, which would devastate a lot of people, but I think it's just bound to happen because there's too much money left on the table for Valve to make. That is, 1 out of those 3 capsules, there's maybe 4. This will be the 4th one. I think one of those is going to contain gold map stickers from souvenirs or something very similar. There might be something very different with them, right? It might differ themselves from the ones in souvenirs, but make it the same, pretty much. And then you could officially 100% rip off the new version of souvenirs from 2021 up until now and going into the future, most likely, because they're probably not going to change them. There's already a lot of concepts out there of this, and well, people would probably buy this up quite a bit. There would be a lot of backlash, and sadly for Valve, I don't think there'd be any coming back from that. You can't just remove it. So I think that's why, and probably they will hold off for that for the next little while, but I think it's going to happen at some point. I think it's just the most realistic. As it goes for an operation, probably not. Like we talked about, Valve is more of a software company than a game developer. We can take a look at just by all the people leaving, especially in the anti-cheat division and people making CSGO. I just don't think any progress is getting made. There's probably not a lot of green lights or to hire new people and make new projects for the game. It's probably just very dry. You're probably just milking the same content over and over again. Source 2 is definitely a possibility, but that definitely won't change much, won't bring any new people in, especially for the long term of things, but it's going to change CSGO for the better going into the future. It's going to make CSGO more of a realistic game and more ad and brand friendly, I think, for sponsors and to make the game even bigger than it is right now. I think what we could see is more changes to major stickers, make them a little better, make them a little more different to make people buy them because, well, Valve has learned a huge mistake with Rio. You can't release the 2 best major stickers of all time back to back and then release absolute garbage because and Rio happens and you have the lowest supply, right? So that's what I think is going to happen in 2022. This was definitely the most realistic edition I think you'll see probably on YouTube. Everyone else's I've seen this past couple of weeks has been more of a want list, and that's what I have coming very soon. Yes, we're going to throw in the anti-cheat in that video. Yes, we're going to throw in Source 2 and Operation, but we're also going to throw in some random stuff here and there that things I don't think people knew they would want or would expect anytime soon. Like for an example, weapon charms, which would be absolutely amazing. I think would change the game up quite a bit. I hope you guys enjoyed today's CSGO commentary for the future and current year of 2023 CSGO. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Let me know what you guys would want to see this year, but also most importantly, realistically, what's going to happen. Peace out. Stay positive, stay sexy gamers.